So yeah, I'm sitting here before you making a video on something called the perfect trend line. Traders, I think this is officially my sign that it is time for me to retire. Ladies and gentlemen, the final video ever on No Nonsense Forex. Just kidding. We don't stop here at No Nonsense Forex. Fuck y'all talking about. Come on now. Perfect trend line is the name of the indicator, however, and I guess since it's an indicator, it's okay to talk about. But as unhappy as I was with the name of this indicator when Dan sent it to me, they've really outdone themselves this time. This is, well, you'll see. Let's go ahead and get into it. But if you're new, welcome to the #1 indicator channel in all of YouTube. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. But you're not going to know what we're talking about. So enjoy, but before you start chiming in with things, go here. Go to nononsenseforex.com, read the first page, watch that first video, and get started and get caught up. Only then will you be taken seriously here. But for the rest of you who are already there, let's go ahead and take a look at the specs for the perfect trend line indicator. Good Lord, the year is going to be 2020 on this one. And this was an indicator where the code was just all messed up. It had potential, but the code just wasn't there. So Dan and his merry band of super coders did what they do, and we now have what we have now. And safe to say, it is quite the improvement. Now, the type is going to be a confirmation indicator. It's going to be a two lines cross, but notice the asterisk. That is because it's a two lines cross, but it's not an oscillator that goes below the chart. It is an overlay indicator that goes on the chart. You've seen these before. We'll see it again in just a moment. And as far as exit indicators go, man, this sets up really, really nicely for a good exit indicator should you not have one already. So let's go ahead and take a look at the, I don't want to say it, perfect trend line indicator. It looks like this. So let's do a mini lesson here on the channel. We always try to do one per video. We don't always get there, but we're going to here. Now, before I even tell you what this indicator does, there's one thing we need to do to it first. So those of you who have not read ahead and checked out the blog for this indicator before coming here, what do we need to do to this indicator immediately to make it more readable? We need to thin those lines out. Because as you notice, there's times where it kind of runs together. This might be hard to see on mobile, but places like this, and you're not going to be able to see anything with thick lines. Now, what you can do, and we've talked about this before, is go up to the top here. And if you're ever wondering which line is higher than the other line, for example, your confirmation is going to be over here. But what you want to do here with the perfect trend line indicator is you want to see which line is higher. So the aqua line is your long line. The yellow line is your short line. So whichever one becomes higher, crosses and closes above the other one, that is your signal to go long or short. So like we said, the aqua line is your long line. Right here, it crossed and closed above the yellow, and so that is your sign to go long. And then, conversely, the yellow finally got above the blue right here, and that is your sign to go short. Looks pretty good optically. Looks pretty good as an exit indicator too, I would say. And for fans of indicators like the super trend and a few that we've profiled here on the channel already, I think you're really going to like this one. Now let's see how it actually does though. That's the thing. And the results are going to be pretty interesting. But before we get there, understand, it doesn't really matter what you see. Don't get too excited over great results. Don't get too let down over subpar results, because the only thing that matters is right here, how it performs in your system. You must test this yourself. Now, if you don't know how to do that, that's fine. I got you covered. Down below in the links, you're going to see a link to my automation blog that shows you how to test this yourself. There's an embedded video there shot by Dan Stone showing you how to test this on the MT4 Strategy Tester. There's also going to be a link to the blog. I cover some pretty basic overviews here. If you want the nitty-gritty, the blog is the place to be. Shows you the tweak settings that I don't show you here, even though I still get questions in the comment section. Where are the tweak settings? I got a better question for you, sir. Why don't you watch the entire video? You should do that. Expect me to help you. Get out of here. But on top of that, you can also go to Dan's YouTube channel where he actually shows this thing moving in real time just to show that it doesn't repaint, and always gives you a bit of extra information that you're not going to find here or on the blog. So that's worth looking at. Now, we do take user submissions from time to time. We've done about 5 or 6 of them so far, and there's a special place to go send those. If you are interested in having an indicator profiled here, you want to send it to that email address and not in the comment section. And the most popular place in all of the interwebs is the indicator library, where you can download the perfect trendline indicator and every indicator we have done here. On the indicator profile series, let's go ahead and take a look at EURUSD. And traders, who doesn't want that right there? Big time ROI with a nice win-loss ratio and a good sample size to boot. And a smaller sample size on the 4-hour. But still, 9 out of 10 with a really good ROI as well. It's a little bit of a benchmark here. This S&P historically has done about 11%. If you can do more than that on a Forex pair with one indicator, you're in pretty good shape. So we like what we see so far. Now on to gold, to where you're going to see, and it's tough to even say, 28.8%, really good, right? Well, if you're a fan of this series, you'll know that that's a bit lower than we're used to seeing here. We've been in the 30s for a while now with gold, even when trading was a bit rough earlier in the year. We were still hitting 30%, and we're not doing it here. But again, this is nothing to sneeze at as far as percentages go. That's a good percentage. And there are possibilities of using this as an exit indicator. So all you gold traders out there, do not write this one off. S&P 500, kaboom. You guys know, anybody who trades indices or even trades stocks knows just how huge that was. I mean, look, not even 3-4 months ago, we were getting 4-5% on these things, and we are giving you the best indicators we can possibly find, and it was still cranking out like 5-6%. So let's enjoy this time while we have it. But yeah, this is higher than why do I want to say Jeffrey Epstein? Bernie Madoff. That's higher than Bernie Madoff got back when people were millionaires and billionaires were lining up outside of his door to get the returns he was getting. You are getting that in one indicator. So indices traders, you are really, really going to want to check this one out and test it for yourself. Ending off with Bitcoin, similar to gold, and I think this was tested before the last run-up, so keep that in mind too. But either way, we've been hitting 30% and above in Bitcoin, and this one just goes below it. It's kind of weird. You never know what you're getting with these things. I have not seen anything so far really outperform in Forex and in indices, but trail in gold and Bitcoin. I think this is a first. But that's what makes this series so interesting. You just never know what you're going to get. But I'll tell you what you're going to get on this channel. A lot of alpha all across the board. We have the Trading Psychology podcast every other Monday, Indicator Profile series every other Wednesday, a blog with a ton of information on it on nononsenseforex.com/blog, and the 10-Minute Contrarian Investing podcast every Saturday. Did you really think I was going to retire when we have so much to give to the world still? We don't stop, baby. You don't stop either. Go get it.